Hey all, we'll be continuing where we left off. Looks like we're going back to report to Emperor Natos. Yeah, things as usual haven't gone well so far, so we'll see if it can get any worse.
Captain, I detect several Allied signals in the vicinity. It seems that the squad is in the sector.
Roger that, Mai. Open the communications channel.
Captain Zerx reporting, Commander Astra. As ordered, we've assisted the ambushed ships. Many of our units have fallen in combat, but we've been able to repel the enemy attacks.
Copy that, Captain Zerx. I'm heading to Sol Invictus. I expect a full report on my arrival.
Aye, aye, Commander. May the sun light your way.
Yeah, I don't like that guy. Alright, let's get this started. You get off the ship and go straight to meet with your men. They report that they have managed to neutralize the renegade army's ships, which should please Emperor Natos. Everything is going according to plan. All you have to do is convince Natos that Flanagan is still hiding somewhere, commanding the remains of the renegade army. This will buy enough time for the Republic and the renegade army to prepare their attack. You go through the spaceport, where several of your captains salute you as you approach. Captain Zerx, Commander Astra. Status report, Captain. Half the squad fell during the attack. As soon as we reached the combat area, most of the enemy ships had been destroyed. The few renegade army captains that remained alive tried to flee. We killed most of them before they could warp, but a few were able to escape. We beg your forgiveness, Commander. You answer. Never mind, Captain Zerx. You repelled the attack and you won. It is perfect. With the enemy in retreat, Natos would have no choice but to send you in search of them. It could take weeks to find the trail of the renegade army. Zerx interrupts your thoughts. However, we managed to track the position of several enemy ships. You must be careful. One misstep could lead the Children of the Sun to the leaders of the renegade army. If any of them were to be captured by NATO soldiers and your intentions revealed, your plan would be ruined. Captain Zerx, the survivors were heading to Hell's Gulch. I have ordered several captains to patrol the area. If any of those people intend to leave the planet, we'll know at once. We'll leave as soon as you give us the order. Let's show them how scorching the sun's flames can be. I must meet with the Emperor. Zerx and the others step aside and you continue your way through the facility. You know exactly where to find Emperor Natos, so you head straight to the lab. Last time you barely had time to find out what was going on, but this time it will be different. You go down to the base's lower levels, retracing the steps you took with Natos the first time you were in Sol Invictus. You walk by the cells and continue through the corridors until you reach the lab's hatch. You use the security scanner and the huge door opens, confirming that your access is authorized. You move forward among the machinery and computer screens, taking a look at the scientists monitoring the different test subjects. You stop when you reach one of the tanks. Inside it, submerged in green liquid and attached to all kinds of wires and devices, you can see Bradley's body, floating. Emperor Nato stands in front of the tank, staring at him. Emperor Natos. Nato speaks without taking his eyes off the tank. Commander Astra, you're back. You answer, yes, Emperor. We've shot down several renegade army ships, but we haven't found their leaders yet. Our squad was ambushed during the mission, but we managed to eliminate the enemy forces. We also captured 2 men who have been interrogated. Natos doesn't show much interest and keeps looking at the tank holding Bradley. What happened to the prisoners? They died during the interrogation, Emperor. You continue. According to what they told us, they haven't had direct contact with any of the top Renegade Army officials, but they confirmed to us that they departed from Hell's Gulch. Some of our ships are already in the sector tracking the area. It seems to be reliable information, sir. At least a part of the Renegade Army is operating from the planet. Natos rests his hand on the tank. Good job, Commander. Take as many captains as you need with you and search the entire planet if necessary. We're getting very close now. We can't afford to make any mistakes. As you command, Emperor. Nato speaks calmly. They're gaining ground on us, Astra. We've crushed thousands of their ships, annihilated their leaders and their facilities. Scott, Xiao, Tacit Stella. We've even provoked an internal war amongst their ranks, and yet we haven't been able to stop the Interstellar Republic. You quietly swell with pride. Natos could never understand. As long as there's a captain left standing, the Republic will keep fighting. Natos continues. Now, not only does the SMC support them, but the Renegade Army will end up making a pact with the Republic sooner or later. When you're weak, the only thing you can do is seek alliances to face those who overpower you. They'll fight for their survival, and the Children of the Sun will be their only enemy. And what are we going to do, Emperor? Yeah, the change in the music never bodes well, does it? Natos' laugh is as cold as ice. Burn them to ashes. Dr. Vanlith, Emperor, we're almost done. I'm sure you'll want to see this. Vanlith is suddenly standing right behind you. Vanlith, come with me, please. Follow Vanlith. Natos continues speaking. Decades ago, the Interstellar Republic began work on a top-secret project, an artificial intelligence system capable of commanding entire fleets. The project was led by Dr. John Banner and some of the greatest minds in the field. After years of research and testing, they got the first working prototype. They had managed to create the most advanced artificial intelligence to date. It was able to make decisions on its own, to learn and to evolve. But even more important was its ability to gain control of any core. Hydra had come to life. Hydra? Emperor Natos. That's what they called it. Already during the first tests, things began to go wrong for the Republic. The system modified itself, preventing its creators from accessing its source code. It then tried to transmit itself through the rest of nearby cores, as if it wanted to flee. The monster the Republic had created was spiraling out of their control. Recognizing its failure, the Republic had no choice but to discontinue its research. The project was cancelled and all its data was erased. Only Scott, Xiao, and the engineers involved in the project were aware of its existence of such a weapon. As for Hydra, the body that served as its transmitter was destroyed, and its core was divided into 3 fragments. 3 cores that, if put together, would return Hydra to its original power. The Republic created the deadliest weapon in the galaxy, and they didn't have what it takes to use it. What happened to those 3 cores? 2 of them were destroyed along with everything else, but the Republic kept the 3rd one. Even with just a third of Hydra's original power, this core far surpasses any existing artificial intelligence module, although it's still highly unstable. Xiao and Scott decided that it would be best to keep it for the defense of the galaxy. In order to minimize the risk, they built a ship capable of containing the monster lying dormant within, the Genesis. Nartos nods. That's right. The Genesis warship was capable of containing Hydra, and using a minimal amount of its power, enough for it to be considered the Republic's most powerful warship. Scott and Xiao presented the Genesis to the Republic Council and the rest of the government as the most advanced warship in their fleet, capable of competing one-to-one against our Phoenix destroyer. They never told anyone what was hiding inside it. To prevent Hydra from falling into the wrong hands, Jane Scott left Tacit Stella with the Genesis as a captain. After declining the rank of admiral she'd been offered, she left the Interstellar Republic in the hands of her most trusted man. Yeah, I don't want to butcher that name, Admiral Xiao. She would be in charge of guarding the most powerful weapon in the galaxy until the end of her days. So how did you know all this? You stop in front of one of the tanks as Vanlith speaks. As you know, the subject's brain death has posed a major obstacle so far, but compatibility with the system is 100%. As soon as you give the order, we'll initiate the data transfer. We'll soon have every last bit of information you need, Emperor. As for the cores, we're making great progress, but they're not ready yet. As they speak, you slowly approach the tank to take a look inside. Horrified, you see the body covered with burns and all kinds of wounds, with dozens of wires inserted into its torso and head. You move a little bit closer to make out the face of a bruised woman, and your heart skips a beat. You can hardly breathe. No. I always wondered where she'd gone. Oh dear. Scott. Cold sweat runs down your back. You can barely breathe. Suddenly your legs start shaking, although you try to hide it as much as possible. Your mentor, Captain Jane Scott, is inside this tank, or at least what is left of her. Nato seems to notice your agitation and answers your previous question with a mocking tone. Captain Scott has been very eager to help thanks to Dr. Vanlith's research. I must admit I totally underestimated you, Doctor. You turned out to be much more useful than I could ever imagine. Vanlith bows, pleased. You gulp and make an effort not to lose control. Your body trembles as the idea of blowing in their heads My apologies. As the idea of blowing their heads right off here and now runs through your mind over and over again. As you can probably tell, I'm still a bit sick. Is she alive? Vanlith smiles again. Over the years, we've forged our soldiers into the perfect unit. Without fear, without compassion, without judgment. Our training systems work well, but there is still room for improvement. The renegades who rose up against us are a proof of what I'm saying. What if we could suppress all of this? A brain is nothing more than a complex and intricate electrical system, Commander. A slight and precise modification, and you could have the most tenacious man willingly obeying your orders. Your blood boils. You can barely hear him. Vanlith's stupid face is making you sick. I asked if she's alive. You immediately regret having used such a furious tone of voice. You must calm down or you will be in serious trouble. Dr. Vanlith looks at Nartos and nods. After many years with unsuccessful results, I was forced to abandon the investigation, but we managed to discover something very interesting. Although brain modifications seemed impossible, we found out that accessing the information stored within our subjects was relatively easy. During our tests, we were able to recover small fragments, but with the right equipment, revealing a person's entire life is perfectly plausible. Although, to be honest, Commander, we've never experimented with a subject with no brain activity. You will make sure that Vanlith and Nartos pay for this. So she's dead. Dr. Vanlith taps on the glass as if it were a fish tank. Absolutely. Since we were released from the dome, my team and I have been working hard to access Captain Scott's memory. Although the process has been slightly different than working with a living brain, the results are more than satisfactory. So far, we've been able to rescue isolated memory sequences, but we're now ready to do a full extraction. If Scott has any more secrets about Hydra, it won't take long to uncover them. This explains everything. The Emperor's interest in Banner, his fixation on the Genesis, the attack on the Dome. Everything Nartos has done had no other goal other than to restore Hydra in order to end the Republic. But if they already have what they need, why are they still searching her memory? What else are we looking for? Dr. Vanler. Emperor Nartos suspects that the two remaining cores weren't destroyed. If the Republic... Nartos cuts the conversation. That's enough, Vanlith. She still has work to do. Vanlith bows slightly and leaves while Nartos addresses you. We're very close to victory, Astra. Thanks to Dr. Vanlith's work, the Phoenix is ready. We've designed it just like the Republic did with the Genesis. Although our ship will make the most of its core power, it's what's more, our best engineers are working on the catalyst that will allow Hydra to take control of all enemy ships as soon as we reunite the three cores. So we're looking for the lost cores. Emperor Nartos sets off while you follow him. Now we're only speculating. The memory extracts of the rest of the subjects who participated in the Hydra project seem to confirm the destruction of the cores, although there's something that doesn't add up. Anyway, only Scott and Xiao know the truth, so if any of the cores are hidden, it won't take long to find them. In the meantime, we'll stick to the original plan. As soon as Vanlith manages to recreate the Hydra core and assemble it into the Phoenix, we'll be able to end the Republic once and for all. That will be just the beginning. If we want to awaken the full power of Hydra, we'll need the three cores that form it. Vanlith is working on the first prototypes, so it's just a matter of time. With the Republic out of the game, it doesn't matter if it's months or years, sooner or later we'll recover Hydra and take complete control of all ships in the galaxy. The Children of the Sun will rule in all known sectors, so we just have to buy time. That will be your mission, Astra. The Republic is preparing something, and I need to know what it is. Our scouts reports indicate that the Republic is sending ships to different parts of the galaxy, and I fear this has to do with a joint strategy with the Renegade Army. If we're planning to strike, or rather if they're planning to strike, we'll have to contain them until the Phoenix is fully operational. What do you want me to do? You'll follow the Renegade Army to Hell's Gulch and find their leader. If the Renegade Army has settled on the planet, I want you to track them down and find out how and when they're planning to attack. Be quick and come back at once as soon as you've completed your mission. I'll need you and your men to stop the attack in case any squad manages to get to Sol Invictus. Defeat is not an option. May the sun light your way, Commander. May the sun light your way, Emperor. You turn around worried about everything Nartos and Vanlith have told you. Assuming it's not too late already, if the Republic does not attack before the Children of the Sun gain control of the Hydra core, it will all be over for certain. No, there is still hope. Vanlith is still working on extracting Bradley and Banner's memory. So they still lack all the answers they need. If you could snatch the core from them before Natos takes off with it, you would be saving the Republic. On the other hand, Vanlith mentioned the brain death of one of his subjects. Was he talking about Bradley? NATO's plan is beginning to unfold. Although there are still some unknowns, what seems to be clear is that it's going to be a race against time. You go back to your ship.
We're ready, Commander Astra. The rest of the captains are already in the sector awaiting orders. We won't let them get away this time. We'll make them pay for what they've done.
Roger that, Captain Zerks. Let them hold positions until our arrival. If part of the renegade army is hiding in Hell's Gulch, we'll find them.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Oh dear. Right, let's see where this takes us. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be presented with a choice here to do one thing or the other. But
Commander,
let's see.
what about the escape pod survivors?
They died during interrogation. We managed to get all the information we needed before we finished them off.
We're receiving several requests for reinforcements. The rest of the squad is in trouble.
It's the renegade army again!
Mai, set the coordinates of the attack.
Please tell me I get to turn on him and kill him. I don't like that guy at all. Well, there's definitely a lot of ships around.
It's Commander Astra, along with the rest of the squad! Hold on as long as you can!
Zerks, Polaris, cover the flanks! I want all damaged ships to pull back immediately!
Commander, we'll need all our men to break through.
You're welcome to leave the battlefield if you're scared, Zerks.
No way! I'll finish them off one by one. May the sun light your way.
One of the enemy ships has been destroyed.
You're no match for us, traitors. Burn in hell!
I've reached the conclusion that that guy has deep emotionally retained issues. I believe that's it.
Targets neutralized, crew. We are out of danger. Is that it?
Some of the enemy's ships have managed to warp, Commander. We must follow them.
It's too late for that. Let our best captains escort the damaged ships to Sol Invictus. I don't want any more surprises. The rest will go with us to the surface.
The renegade army is already alerted, Commander. I'm sure they'll be expecting our attack.
If they had any chance against us on the surface, they would have waited for us to land and tried to ambush us. They must be desperate to launch such an attack.
They have good reason to be. Now that we have confirmed their position, it's only a matter of time. We will raise Hell's Gulch and annihilate the traitors.
So be it.
Okay, so what am I supposed to do now? Oh, am I... Oh wait, there we go. Finally something appeared. Huh, I didn't get it. Okay, well they did say down to the planet, so it must just be down to this planet. Come on. Huh, okay. What is it, bugged? Let's try this again. If not, I'll reload. I don't want to waste your guys' time. Huh. Hell's Gulch is located deep in a huge canyon that gives the town its name. As you search for a landing zone, you fly over the incredible landscape, a result of millions of years of erosion. Without a doubt, this is the perfect place to hide. The Renegade Army's soldiers could be lurking anywhere, so you rule out an air attack. The only way to get into the city is to descend into the canyon and follow the river that leads to it, which would make you an easy target. You land and get ready to disembark. The Children of the Sun are preparing for the assault, although you still have a serious doubt regarding the mission. You and your crew will have to somehow prevent the Children of the Sun from capturing the leader of the Renegade Army, which is what you have been ordered to do. Disembark. The soldiers leave their ships and get into formation before you, awaiting orders. Zerk steps forward. Our men are ready for the attack, Commander. We'll show no mercy. You watch in consternation as the battalion forms in front of you. More than 300 Children of the Sun trained to kill without compassion. Compassion in position and ready for the bloodbath that is expected to take place. You're about to lead all those men into battle you wish no part in. The Renegade Army will join the Republic in the fight against the Children of the Sun. Is keeping your cover reason enough to justify so many deaths? How many more lives will it cost to end this war? We're ready. There is no other option. If NATO's men capture any of the renegade army leaders, and they become aware of your true plans, it is all over. You now know that with what Vanlith is capable of, questioning prisoners will no longer be necessary. Even if the prisoner is not willing to talk, he can just download their memory and leave them to die. This is the only thing you can do. You will stick to the plan, even if it means blood on your hands. If you must, you will execute the prisoners yourself before letting them fall into NATO's hands. Everyone ready. We'll advance in formation following the river. The renegade army knows we're here and they're ready. Stay alert and show no mercy. May the sun light your way. You catch a glimpse of Zerk's wicked grin as the soldiers cheer. Let's go. You lead the group along the riverbank that leads to the city. The soldiers remain silent and tension begins to build. As you move forward, you can make out metal structures built on the canyon walls. Hell's Gulch stands firmly on vertical walls like massive honeycombs, connected to one another through large bridges and elevators. You're at a clear disadvantage. The terrain forces you to access the village on foot, which gives your enemies a perfect shooting position. From the height of the platforms, a few marksmen could cause a fair amount of casualties among your ranks. Keep moving. You're getting closer to the elevators that give access to the upper levels. Once there, you'll be much more protected from the enemy's line of fire. A whistle catches your attention and your signal for the group to stop. You see the light of a red flare rise over the river and begin to descend a few seconds later. Take cover! The barrage of lasers shots causes the group to disperse. You try to keep cover as try to spot the snipers, but there is not much you can do. There is still too much distance to the elevator platform that gives access to the city. With nowhere to hide in between, you are still sitting ducks. Your only hope is to run to the platform while engaging any enemy you can see. You yell at the top of your lungs. Don't stop, we must keep moving forward. The group runs as fast as they can, trying to avoid enemy shots unsuccessfully. Many soldiers are wounded while others are instantly killed by the renegade army sharpshooters. Suppressive fire! Captain Zerks rushes forward, firing on one of the platforms. There they are. The men shoot blindly at the platform, spread out at different heights, while you run towards them, trying to provide what cover fire you can. Although a few stray bullets manage to hit the renegade army soldiers, it does nothing to slow down the enemy fire. As you move forward, you start to make out the snipers hidden in the towers on the elevated platforms. You look back and see Jackson along with the rest of the crew nodding at your command. Take them down. And that's that. Several of your shots hit the enemy snipers, making them fall from the higher ground. You start running as swiftly as you can. When you get to the elevator platforms, the group splits up and takes cover until finally the first squads manage to reach the upper levels. Civilians run from one side to another, desperately trying to take refuge, but not all of them make it. You step on the platform along with your crew and another group of soldiers. You keep shouting orders as loudly as you can. The path to the upper areas is divided into dozens of walkways and tunnels dug into rock. The battle rapidly expands, furious crossfire everywhere you look. Watch out! You hear an explosion overhead and look up. One of the upper bridges collapses, causing several soldiers to fall to their deaths. You push Polaris out of the way, saving him from being crushed by a huge chunk of metal. Polaris is still in shock. Thank you. Dust from the explosion forms a gigantic cloud which covers the entire area. The enemy fire is ceaseless and your soldiers have already completely broken formation. They try not to panic and take cover as best they can. We must get to the higher levels. Yeah, let's heal up our guys. Alright. Heal up some more. And some more. There we go. Right, someone needs to get hurt. You make your way to one of the large platforms where you meet the group of soldiers who have taken the area. As soon as you get there, everyone salutes and one of the captains walks towards you. Captain Wagner, Commander Astra, we've taken control of the area and captured several men. We're ready to execute the prisoners. You look over your shoulder and see the prisoners on their knees as a soldier readies their rifle behind them. You take a look at the prisoners' faces and notice something strange. Stop! Among the prisoners you can see many children and elderly people. One of the youngest, perhaps 5 or 6 years old, desperately cries out for their mother. Furious, you address your men with a sharp tone as you point at the prisoners. Are you telling me that these children are soldiers of the renegade army? Captain Wagner, we've searched the nearby houses, Commander. They were hiding soldiers from the renegade army. We've been ordered to seize and execute them as traitors. Who gave the order? Captain Zerks gave the order. You take a few steps closer to him and raise your tone even higher. Release them immediately. Our mission is to fight enemy soldiers, not murder civilians. You can feel the anger of the soldiers looking at you. Captain Wagner, Commander, the renegade army has killed several of our brothers with the help of these people. These prisoners are as guilty as the soldiers themselves. They, if nothing more than traitors to the sun. It's what they deserve. The man loads the gun, looking at you defiantly. You dare to contradict me, Captain? The soldier looks down. No, Commander, I beg your pardon. You heard the commander, free the prisoners. You nod seriously. Where's Captain Zerks? He and several men moved to the upper levels, chasing after an enemy group, sir. The intensity of the battle has decreased. The lower levels are already taken as the enemies in retreat ascend towards the higher areas of the city. As your soldiers push forward, Zerks must have taken the lead, heading higher up to root out the remaining enemies. Follow Zerks to the higher levels. The battle is split into different fronts. On the top part of the city, although it seems like a clear victory for your troops, the renegade army has not given up, and enemy soldiers continue to try to stop your advance from the higher levels of Hull's Gulch. You run, shooting down the men who come within range. Continuous explosions and platforms reduced to debris make the ascent increasingly difficult. Enemies stationed at the top take advantage of their position to prevent the Children of the Sun's troops from moving forward. After several confrontations, you come across a small group of soldiers led by Xerx. They are all taking cover, waiting for the right moment to cross to the next platform. Captain Xerx. I'm here, Commander Astra. You answer from behind your cover. What are you doing? You're heading straight for their trap. We've located the leader of the renegade army. I've seen him with my own eyes, giving orders to the rest of the platoons. He and at least 30 men are on the other side. We must cross at any cost. You had the vague hope that their leader was already dead. If Xerx is tracking him down, you have no choice but to join him and pray that nothing gets out of hand. We'll back you so you can push forward. We'll try to cover you as you push forward. As soon as you're on the other side, give us a signal and we'll follow you. Xerx nods. You shout as loudly as you can to be heard amid the shooting and explosions. 3, 2, 1, now. The group of Xerx runs across the platform as enemies open fire. Taking advantage of the situation, you and your crew shoot down several renegade army soldiers. Although the captain's group suffers heavy casualties, when they reach the other side, Xerx's squadron splits. Not a minute passes until he shows up again and waves at you, confirming that the path is clear. Cross to the other side. You run across the bridge and regroup on the other side, taking cover again. You have managed to cross, but the enemy outnumbers you and the battle is getting increasingly fierce. Soldiers on both sides keep getting shot down, and your group is becoming smaller and smaller. Your men in Xerx's cover you as you go after the enemy. Some of this grammar though. You turn a corner and you find yourself in front of the house where the enemy soldiers you were following must have taken refuge. Xerx looks at you, waiting for an order. Get in the house. Yeah, as many of them being killed off as possible shouldn't be too bad for me, right? The two of you stand on either side of the door and after counting down, kick it open. You enter quickly and take whatever cover is available while shooting blindly. The enemy had been lying in wait for you, and their shooting is so intense you barely have a chance to rear your head. At your feet you find fragments of broken mirror. You use one of the pieces to see an enemy shooter's position. 4 men, 2 upstairs and 2 covering the stairs. You give Xerx directions and you peek out, opening fire. One of your shots kills the first of the soldiers, who falls over the rail. The other one takes a shot to the shoulder and recoils. Xerx, on the other hand, looks at you with satisfaction after taking down the soldiers below with 2 perfect shots. Let's go upstairs. You go upstairs and follow the trail of blood on the ground. Maybe your shot did more damage than you think, or maybe you are being led into a trap. The wounded soldier appears to have crawled across the floor into one of the rooms, which remains closed. You signal to Captain Xerx and you lie down in front of the door as he gets ready to open it. If the soldier intends to open fire when the door opens, you'll have a split second before you are spotted. Xerx pushes the door open from the side and immediately the shots coming from inside fly over you. With perfect aim, you hit one of the man's hands, causing him to drop his rifle. Hands up. Xerx enters, aiming at him. The man, exhausted and leaning against the wall, raises one of his hands while the other one tries to staunch his bleeding wound. You get up and look at him, petrified. Of all the leaders of the renegade army, it just had to be him. Captain Ken Flanagan, we meet again, Astra. Xerx looks at you, uncomprehending. Flanagan speaks to him. There's no need to introduce us. Your commander and I already know each other well. By the way, Astra, I forgot to thank you for releasing me when you were holding me prisoner. Such a nice touch. I thought you'd hand me over to the Emperor as soon as you captured me. You can talk as much as you want, Flanagan. You continue. You broke our deal and ran like a rat. This time it'll be different. Flanagan sighs. Is that what you told the Emperor? You must have been very convincing to relieve Morpha as commander, Astra. Xerx begins to lose his patience. You shouldn't be in such a rush to die, scumbag. We're not done with you yet. Go ahead, soldier, shoot. Whatever you do, you've lost. The Republic and the Renegade Army are ready and our plan is in motion. You can't stop us now. Shut up for once and get up. I just can't believe it. I never thought that the children of the sun could be so naive. You still don't get it? You've been betrayed, you idiot. Someone's been pulling the strings to make things easier for us. You realize what he's trying to do. Damn fool, Flanagan does not know that you're undercover. And he intends to turn Xerx against you. What are you talking about? He's trying to turn us against each other. It may be that, or I may be right. What kind of soldier would make a deal with the enemy? What kind of child of the sun sets his enemies free? Imagine that, a captain of the Republic undercover as the Children of the Sun's commander. It's hilarious. Flanagan is playing a very dangerous game. Tell me, Xerx, haven't you noticed anything odd? You'll have to agree with me that Commander Astra is very unlike other soldiers. Always so dedicated, so devoted to her crew. I can't help thinking about how incredibly lucky we were that it was her who found us after we deserted Nova Magna. I bet having a dozen of Nartos men following you everywhere must have disrupted your plans considerably. Am I wrong, Commander? That's enough! You approach Flanagan and knock him down with a punch. You pick up the rifle and aim at his head while stepping on his wound. I dare you to say that again, you piece of garbage. Let me hear it again, loud and clear. You're thinking as fast as you can. Damn Flanagan just put you in a bind. Although this has been nothing more than a dirty ruse to save his life, Xerx might start to suspect something. If word gets out what has been said in this room, you are done for. Xerx smiles at the scene. Not so talkative now, huh? No matter what you say coming with us, traitor. Flanagan whimpers unintelligibly under your boot. Lift your foot. Ken Flanagan, will you set me free again, Astra? If that's even your real name, I'm sure Mason will give you a couple of medals for your performance. The guy is trying to get himself killed. Since the strategy with Xerx has failed, Flanagan wants you to try to finish him off rather than be captured alive. You can hardly think. Letting them capture Flanagan would reveal the Renegade Army's plan, which you cannot allow to happen. On the other hand, killing him would make Xerx suspect you. He may not be the smartest soldier in the army, but sooner or later he would end up connecting the dots. A drop of sweat falls from your forehead as you decide who to kill. If you want to end the war, one of these two men has to die. Well, I think I'm going to kill the guy who wanted to kill innocent women and children. Yep. You load your weapon as Xerx grins at the situation. Your eyes meet, and the captain nods in satisfaction. You take a step back. You and your damn big mouth, Flanagan. You raise the weapon and open fire on Xerx, shooting him straight in the head. His body collapses lifelessly, leaving the room in silence. You grab Flanagan by the lapel of his jacket and pull him to his feet. He looks dumbfounded, unable to process what just happened. So? All this time? Nod. Silently, you take a couple of steps towards the door until you turn around for a moment to address Flanagan. The Children of the Sun soldiers will search this place as soon as the battle is over. I suggest you hide if you want to stay alive. Flanagan freezes as you leave the house. This could have fatal consequences. Captain Xerxes' men saw you march alongside him on the enemy's trail. If you do not want to raise suspicions, you better come up with a convincing story. Regroup with the troops. You leave the house and meet up with the rest of the soldiers. The battle is over and your troops quickly begin searching house to house, executing the hidden renegade army soldiers. The city has been left in deplorable state. Many of the bridges that connect the different districts are now completely demolished, and a dense cloud of smoke rises towards the sky as a result of the fires. Victory is yours and your mission has been completed successfully, and yet you are far from feeling like you won. When you gave the order to attack, you knew very well that there would be civilian casualties, but this has been an indiscriminate massacre. Dozens of dead bodies lie everywhere you look. In the end, when you found yourself facing your target, you had no choice but to assassinate Xerxes yourself in order to safeguard the plan. The thought that this would have happened anyway does not comfort you in the least, and you sincerely hope that the sacrifice has been worth it. We're done here. Let's go back to Sol Invictus.
So, not only is Flanagan still alive, but now he knows the truth.
He knew that there was an agent of the Republic among the children even before we met. One of Sheep's men must have leaked it. If the children find out about this...
Do you think we're in danger, Captain?
We are. If the renegade army is aware, Nartos will end up finding out. And all he'll have to do is tie up loose ends until he finds us out. Finishing Xerxes off has only bought us a little time.
What are we going to do?
We'll go ahead with the plan. It's too late to back out now. Mai, set the course for the children's headquarters. Let's return to Sol Invictus.
Alright, that's it for this one. Sorry to cut it short. We'll be traveling back to base to inform Emperor Nartos in the next one. I'll see you around.